The Menu is an American film that launched in late 2022, more than doubling its $30 million budget quite quickly at the box office, and then landing on streaming, Disney Plus to be specific, earlier this month. The film is a pretty wild ride and commonly described as a dark comedy horror film. The dark comedy I can go with, there are some amusing lines, and the subject matter of a chef who's had enough and is going to kill the entire restaurant is pretty dark. And if you think I've just given you a spoiler, that last bit's in the trailer, so come at me, bruh. I will, however, start talking spoilers now, so if you do want to see the film first, it's time to switch this review off. Now, a moment ago I was saying the film is commonly described as a dark comedy horror film, and I can go with the dark comedy absolutely. The horror aspect, though, I'm not so sure. It's more of a thriller, and even then not quite a thriller. It's a strange film to really talk about. It does have some horrific moments, but I wouldn't call it a horror film. Don't go into this thinking it's the next Scream or I Know What You Did Last Summer or something. Basically, I was quite entertained by The Menu, the concept underpinning the piece of a top chef who has lost his passion for the art and essentially blames it on the kind of people who are in the restaurant that night, a night he has been planning for some time, is really quirky and quite weird. And before I go on, I say it again, I was quite entertained by The Menu. But, and you knew there was a but coming, right? Some elements just didn't ring true for me. For example, the chef's crew do the whole, "Yes, chef," following orders routine to the letter, and they all live in a barracks on the island where the restaurant is. And it seems a bit cult-like. But this is never explored. We're simply left to assume it's the cult-like nature of the chef and his island setup that sees a sizable kitchen crew all willing to kill customers and take their own lives at the conclusion of the evening. There didn't need to be an exhaustive explanation of it all, but something more in this area would have been nice. Similarly, with the way the restaurant guests don't rebel very hard at all, just doesn't ring true, especially with some dude bro types in attendance. There are a few half-assed attempts to break out and escape, but again, it's left more to our imagination, like the cult aspect, to assume why the guests aren't trying harder to get away. I guess we're meant to assume they're so shocked at what's happening that they just can't react. In the final scene particularly, where they go like lambs to the slaughter in a shockingly over-the-top moment, it's quite weird and graphic and oddly interesting, but is it realistic? Again, something more in this area would have been nice, perhaps one or two guests giving it one last try to escape and being put down, and so the rest then go like lambs to the slaughter. That would have made more sense to me. In a sense, I'm nitpicking, as the movie was, again, entertaining, and I know that some people do like having to construct backgrounds as to how and why things are happening in the way they're happening, without being told a definitive reason why. Me? I just would have liked to have seen a little more, and know a little more. Just a little, but a little nevertheless. To round this out, although the movie starts off in an ensemble-esque kind of way, if ensemble-esque is a word, it really boils down in the end to Ralph Fiennes and Anya Taylor-Joy becoming the two main characters, doing battle with each other in a psychological way more than anything. And I think both do a great job at this. I believe Emma Stone was actually originally going to play the character before other commitments took her away, and I can see how that would have worked too. Given the same lines and direction, I think her performance would have been quite comparable to how Taylor-Joy does it in the film. And yeah, that's The Menu. Short and sweet here. A quirky, odd, dark comedy film, which I have a few nitpicks at, but gosh, you know, if you're looking for something to watch on a Friday night, pop this one on, go with it. It's a lot of fun, if I can put it that way. Anyway, have you seen The Menu? What did you think of it? Why not let me know down below in the comments?